Welcome to my channel. Today, we're exploring Stellar Defiance, a sci-fi journey where humanity stands strong and defies the odds across the galaxy. Dive into epic starship battles, powerful tech, and the resilience that makes us unstoppable in a universe full of challenges. If you're ready for a thrill-packed adventure in deep space, hit subscribe, and let's get started. In the far reaches of the galaxy, where countless civilizations and advanced species had spread across the stars, there existed a constant struggle for balance. Planets, some lush and thriving, others desolate and barren, were all interconnected in a web of delicate ecosystems. Each world had its own unique flora and fauna, intricately woven together in a harmony that had taken millennia to evolve. However, many of these ecosystems had been disrupted over the course of countless generations, some by natural disasters, others by the interference of technologically advanced species, and many by the reckless actions of colonizers who sought to extract the resources of these planets without considering the long-term effects on the environment. As a result, entire worlds were suffering from ecological collapse, their once beautiful landscapes turned to wastelands, their native species endangered or extinct. In the midst of this struggle for survival, humanity, coming from a humble planet known as Earth, became an unexpected force of restoration. Earth, with its vibrant diversity of life, its complex ecosystems, and its millennia of evolutionary history, had long been considered a world apart by the galactic community. To many species, Earth was a distant curiosity, a planet of little consequence in the grand scheme of the galaxy, populated by a relatively primitive and somewhat chaotic race of beings. The humans themselves had often been underestimated, dismissed by other civilizations as a young species, barely scratching the surface of their potential. But when humanity began exploring the stars and encountering other worlds, it quickly became apparent that their unique connection to Earth's flora and fauna had the potential to heal and restore ecosystems that had long been on the brink of collapse. The first signs of this extraordinary ability came when humans landed on a barren, desert-like planet located at the edge of the Andromeda cluster. The planet, once rich in resources and teeming with life, had been ravaged by centuries of mining and industrial exploitation by a race of technologically advanced aliens. The once thriving ecosystem had been stripped of its resources, and its atmosphere had been tainted with pollutants and toxins, making the environment almost entirely inhospitable. Native species, many of which had evolved over millions of years to thrive in the planet's unique conditions, were dying off at an alarming rate. The remaining inhabitants, once proud of their ability to terraform and colonize new worlds, found themselves unable to reverse the damage they had inflicted. It was in this context that humanity's ability to restore balance began to emerge. The humans, while unassuming in their approach, began to study the planet's native flora and fauna. They took a methodical and empathetic approach, carefully analyzing the remnants of the native ecosystems, understanding the delicate relationships between species, and observing the processes that had once sustained the planet's thriving environment. Rather than imposing an artificial solution or attempting to force their own ecological model onto the planet, the humans approached the problem with a deep respect for the planet's original balance. They began by introducing carefully selected species from Earth's own flora and fauna, species that had evolved in similar environments, capable of withstanding harsh conditions while restoring nutrients to the soil and creating a foundation for a healthier ecosystem. The humans introduced hardy plants, capable of fixing nitrogen in the soil, replenishing the atmosphere with oxygen, and creating microhabitats for smaller creatures to take shelter. They introduced certain types of fungi that could break down toxins in the soil and neutralize pollutants, effectively cleansing the environment. Earth's native pollinators, such as bees, butterflies, and other insects, were sent to the planet, establishing a connection to the delicate cycle of pollination that had been lost. The careful selection of animal species creatures that had adapted to Earth's deserts, forests, and plains helped to recreate a diverse food web, one that would naturally restore the balance of predator and prey. In doing so, the humans were not simply transplanting Earth's ecosystems onto an alien world. Instead, they were introducing the key elements needed to reestablish harmony, allowing the native flora and fauna to regenerate and adapt over time. Within a few short years, the transformation was nothing short of miraculous. What had once been a barren wasteland began to show signs of life. The air cleared as plants began to take root and flourish, breaking down the pollutants that had plagued the environment. Gradually, small animals once extinct began to reappear as the environment stabilized. The human effort, though modest in scale, had sparked a chain reaction that ultimately restored the planet to a state of balance. Native species, once on the brink of extinction, began to adapt to the new conditions, and the environment slowly but surely began to heal. It was not an overnight miracle, but a gradual process of ecological restoration, one that would take centuries to fully unfold. However, the results were clear. Earth's flora and fauna, when introduced in a sustainable and thoughtful way, had played a critical role in bringing life back to a dying world. News of this success spread quickly throughout the galaxy, and what had begun as a small-scale project soon caught the attention of other species. Other planets, many of which had suffered similar environmental degradation, reached out to humanity for help. The Galactic community, once skeptical of Earth's ability to contribute meaningfully to the interstellar ecosystem, now saw the humans as a valuable resource in the ongoing struggle to restore balance to dying worlds. What was truly remarkable was that humans didn't just provide a quick fix, they helped to teach other species how to approach ecological restoration with patience, wisdom, and respect for the natural order of things. Rather than imposing a one-size-fits-all solution, they emphasized the importance of understanding the unique characteristics of each world, each ecosystem, and each species. Humanity's success in restoring balance to alien ecosystems also drew attention to the powerful potential of symbiosis. They understood that no planet could be fully restored by relying on technology alone. While nanotechnology and advanced machinery could help in some cases, the true key to healing came from the deep, biological connections that tied every living being to its environment. On Earth, humans had long relied on the interdependence between plants, animals, fungi, and microorganisms to keep their ecosystems functioning. They understood that life was a dynamic, ever-changing system, one that required constant care and attention. It was this wisdom, born from centuries of living alongside nature, that made humanity's efforts so effective in restoring alien ecosystems. One of the most notable examples of humanity's success came when they helped to restore a lush, jungle-covered planet in the Cradle Nebula. The planet, once home to a vibrant and diverse ecosystem, had been devastated by a war between two advanced species that had fought over its rich resources. In the aftermath of the conflict, much of the planet's plant and animal life had been wiped out, leaving behind a barren landscape of scorched earth and decaying ruins. The native species, who had once lived in harmony with the planet's flora and fauna, were now struggling to survive in a world that had lost its ecological foundation. When humanity arrived, they quickly assessed the damage and began to devise a plan for ecological restoration. Rather than trying to reintroduce Earth's ecosystems wholesale, they took a more nuanced approach. They studied the planet's remaining native species, analyzed the environmental conditions, and identified which elements were missing from the ecosystem. They then began to introduce Earth's flora and fauna in a way that complemented the native life rather than overwhelming it. They introduced various species of trees, plants, and shrubs that could help restore the planet's once thriving jungles. These plants were chosen not only for their ability to restore the soil and atmosphere, but also for their compatibility with the remaining native species, ensuring that the restoration would be as sustainable as possible. Alongside the plant life, humanity introduced herbivorous animals that could help to spread seeds and maintain the plant life. Predators were carefully introduced to restore the natural balance, ensuring that the food web was re-established. Over time, the once dying jungle began to show signs of life. Native species, many of which had been driven to near extinction, began to return, adapting to the new environment that humanity had helped to create. The jungles grew dense and green once more, teeming with life. What had once been a war-torn, barren planet was now a thriving, flourishing ecosystem with a rich biodiversity that had been restored thanks to the careful intervention of humanity. This success was repeated on countless worlds throughout the galaxy. On a planet that had been stripped of its oceans, humanity's efforts to reintroduce aquatic life and restore the delicate balance of the ecosystem led to the resurgence of marine species, bringing the seas back to life. On a desert world where the native flora had been nearly eradicated by invasive species, humans worked with the planet's inhabitants to restore the land, reintroducing drought-resistant plants and animals that could thrive in the harsh conditions. In each case, humanity's ability to understand the delicate interplay between life forms and their deep connection to Earth's biodiversity proved to be the key to restoring balance. As more and more worlds were restored, the galactic community began to see Earth not as a primitive backwater planet, but as a beacon of hope, a world whose biodiversity had the power to heal the wounds of the galaxy. The humans had shown that with knowledge, empathy, and a deep understanding of the natural world, it was possible to repair the damage that had been done and restore balance to even the most ravaged ecosystems. Earth's flora and fauna, with their resilience and adaptability, had become a powerful force for restoration across the stars. In the end, what humanity had accomplished was more than just ecological restoration. They had proven that life, when given the chance to heal and adapt, could overcome even the most catastrophic events. They had shown that the balance of ecosystems could be restored, not through force or dominance, but through cooperation, understanding, and respect for the natural world. In doing so, humanity had not only found a way to heal alien planets, but had also forged a path toward a future in which all species, whether from Earth or beyond, could work together to create a galaxy that thrived in harmony.